We deal with paradigms all the time, and I believe that it is our rules and regulations that keep us from successfully anticipating the future, because we try to discover the future by looking for it through our old paradigms. And so in the 1960s, we looked forward and concluded, cheap gas forever. 4 children make an ideal family. Cable television will never catch on. Japanese products will always be junk. And boy, were we wrong. And we were wrong because our paradigms had the power to keep us from seeing what was really happening. Now, you may think this is an interesting abstraction. So I would like to give you concrete examples that demonstrate how paradigms influence the way you and I see and understand the world. I'd like to start with an example similar to one that Thomas Kuhn cites in his book. I'm going to use elements most of you know quite well, cards from a card deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 8 cards very rapidly. I want you to identify them silently to yourself as I go through them. I'll give you a couple of seconds between each card. Ready? Here we go. Good. Now let's go through it a second time for those of you who may have missed some. This time I'm going to give you twice as much time as I gave you the first time. Ready? Go. All right. We're going to go through it one more time just to check things out. This time I'm going to give you 4 times as much time as the last time. Ready? Here we go. Okay, that's it. How many of you noticed something strange about these cards? For example, the second card was a red spade, or that the 5th card was a black heart, or that the last card was another red spade. I know most of you missed these exceptions on the first run-through. And I know most of you missed them on the second run-through, too. But I would also bet that almost all of you identified the legitimate cards when they came up. You see, you were misled by your rules and regulations about the way a deck of cards is supposed to be, your card deck paradigm. And that is what was blocking your vision of the exceptional cards. Remember what I said about paradigms, how they filter data? Well, you were trying to see the cards the right way. Right means according to your card deck paradigm. Black spades, black clubs, red hearts, red diamonds. And so you saw the legitimate cards very easily, very quickly. In fact, I know the majority of you saw those cards on the first run through, and that was quicker than a 30th of a second. But your paradigm of card decks also made it very difficult to see the cards that didn't fit the rules. And so instead of seeing them as they were, you distorted the data to try to make it fit your paradigm. That's the paradigm effect in action. And every time you run into something that's beyond the boundaries of your paradigm, you will have difficulty seeing it. You just won't get it. Now, this is a funny deck of cards. So you might want to write off this entire experience as interesting but irrelevant to real life. So let's talk about paradigms and real life.